Thank you very much for watching as I do a little bit of a summary or review of the day after you come back from a competition. The breaking down the trailer, getting all the meats and the spices and the herbs and the rubs and all that out of the trailer, packaging the meats and putting away everything, including getting ready to wash the clothes and laundry that were from the competition and some of the containers and things that need to be cleaned to get ready for the next competition. Barbecue is serious business. It's a lot of work before, during, and after, but it's fun. It's all good. Thank you very much. After a long drive home from a barbecue contest, what we typically do is just drive up in the driveway, set up the trailer with the cord going to the garage so that my refrigerator can still run. Because when we get in late at night, I don't want to be unpacking a refrigerator, so we just let it go overnight. And the fun part begins. This happens to be Sunday morning, and my fun part begins now when I start unpacking the trailer, getting all the perishables out, and making sure that all the things that aren't tolerant of heat or anything like that, because that trailer does get hot when it's closed, that I remove all of that type of stuff out of it. For this comp, we didn't take the camper, so we used the back of the truck. And let's see what's still packed in here. Not a lot. Hubby took out a lot of things. There were things such as the chairs that were in here and some of my charcoal boxes and stuff. So he made it where it's an easy cleanup for him this morning. And I'm on to my next step. This is what the trailer looks like after a comp inside. It's pretty, well, it needs a little cleaning, I guess is a better way of putting it. Got all the stuff that I put away is put away in the boxes and stuff, and got some of the things that we use during the comp in the sink, and I'll put those away. The feature, though, is the refrigerator. And it's still loaded up with some things that we used during the comp. And more importantly, some of the leftover meats, which I have the honor today of vacuum sealing. Here lies a bag of some of the dirty laundry, aprons, t-shirts, towels, etc., ready to go into the washing machine. I don't always wash a lot of the containers that I use during a comp, so I just put them in a plastic bag, bring them home, and get ready to put them in the dishwasher or just hand wash. I usually pack all my clothes in this little pink, I guess you call it a gym carrier, but I use it to pack all my clothes for comps, and it includes a lot of my bandanas, extra socks, headbands, t-shirts, etc., etc., etc. I pack kind of light. I have a heavy jacket that I always keep in the trailer or in the camper. This is the inside of my refrigerator, and I'm getting ready to unload some of the things from the refrigerator and the trailer here into the refrigerator that's in my garage. These two plastic bags contain trim. There's pork trim in there, and there's also some of the brisket trim. I did my chicken early, so that trim already had a chance to go in the trash. And I usually put it in the refrigerator because if I put it in the trash can, it's going to rot and it's going to be a lot of malodorous. So I put it in here to hold until trash day. Trash day is Tuesday here, so Monday I'll stick it in the trash to be disposed of. Here's some of the other contents of my refrigerator left over. I store a lot of my sauces and injections and marinades and things like that in bottles. And there's still some remaining in there, so I'll go through and determine whether or not I'm going to use it in the next week or so or not. Yeah, I do use a lot of butter, lots of butter. Some of the things I also take are things for us to eat, and most of them we've already gone through, but this is some of the remainder. I always got to have my bacon and eggs, some cold cuts. And one of the things I do also is I make sure that I have some brisket au jus left from previous comps, and I'll freeze that and take it to the next comp just in case I don't have enough juices, or the juices that I have don't have the flavor or the taste that I want. So I didn't have to use it for this comp. I always have a lot of parsley left over after a comp if I'm going to be using parsley in my boxes. I've already cleaned this parsley, so it's in good shape, so all I have to do is maybe go through it and pick out some of the yellowing leaves or something like that. And what I'll do with this is I'll add some diced celery, some diced spring onion or onion to it. I'll freeze it up, put it in the refrigerator, so that when I'm cooking and I'm making something, soup, stews, or whatever that need a little extra oomph to them, I can pull out a handful or so of the seasoning mix and add it to it. These are some of the other things that I'm going to be removing from my trailer, primarily because it gets hot in here once again, so I don't want all these seasonings and some of these sauces that are unopened to be exposed to extreme heat. In addition, I may not be doing a competition until possibly the end of December and definitely the end of January. And so that's another 2, maybe 3 months before I'll get to using them, so I need to rotate them around, use them for doing practice sessions, etc., etc. Holidays are coming up, so I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking. So I'm going to move these to the house so that they will be accessible to me there. After a barbecue comp, there's usually a lot of meat left over. And some of the guidelines or laws are that you can't give it away because of the California Department of Health codes. So you wind up either giving it to friends. Friends are okay, but public no. Or you take it home and you vacuum seal it. So I've got my food saver bags, and you don't have to use food saver, you can use any vacuum seal bag, just happens to be the ones that I've purchased. And I always label it with the date and what's in here. And even though this contest was November the 2nd, while I was writing out these bags, 1019 was stuck in my head, so that's okay because I trimmed the meat in October, so it's okay. These are burn ends. And lately I have not been turning in burnt ends, so I have a lot left over. They are very good, but the judges have been very picky with them, so it's best to leave them out. For this contest, I did come in 10th in brisket, which I thought was a damn good brisket. And let me show you something also. I had 2 briskets that I cooked. And these are slices from the other brisket that I did not turn in. They were damn good also, so we had a hard time determining which ones we turned in and which ones we didn't. and it actually came down to an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I finished vacuum sealing all the meats, and this is what's left over after barbecue competition. Now keep in mind that I cooked 4 pork butts, 2 briskets, 12 pieces of chicken, and 6 racks of ribs. And from that, we also had some friends over after the event, and there were 5 or 6 of them, and they ate hearty plates. And now I have quite a bit to freeze, to give away, and a lot of it's earmarked for some friends who also wanted some, just because they know after I do a competition, I'm in the mood to get rid of a lot of this meat. I don't sell it. I just give it away. I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to solicit for buyers, anything like that. So this is what we got. So I've got 3 pretty large bags of pulled pork, 3 containers of brisket, 1 with slices, 1 with flat, and 1 with some of the end pieces of the flat of the brisket. Here are the ribs, spare ribs, which I cooked. These packages contain the leftover burnt ends. And I cooked 4 pork butts, and from those pork butts I had actually 4 very good money mussels. 2 were exceptional, which I turned in, and this is the 2 that I did not turn in. Coming in with a 7th place pork, 10th place brisket. We won't talk about the chicken and the ribs. Though I thought I had a very, very good cook and all went well, there was no agreement in the tent. That's barbecue. Competition barbecue. Hey, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q. And I just wanted to give you a little synopsis of what the leftovers are from cooking this barbecue competition this weekend. This was in Indio, California, November 2019. I vacuum sealed all the packages, and this is just the process I go through after barbecue competition, where I get all the meats prepped in the vacuum containers, all the cooked meats, and then I'll put them in the freezer. And if we want to eat some later on, they're there. If I want to give them away, I give them away. If we're going to have a party or something like that and I need to have some quick cue or whatever, then there it is.